Emma, it's officially over. College football, the 2024-2025 season officially ends with Ohio State becoming the national champions. How do we feel?
I think this team has so much resilience. I think they have so much grit and power. They faltered a few times during their regular season, but it's in sports like this that has a playoff structure to get to that championship game. It's who shows up in those playoffs. And Ohio State was dominant from day one against Tennessee, continued that with Oregon and Texas, and even continue that into the national championship game against Notre Dame. So they are the rightful winner in this playoff structure. And I thought they were sensational last night.
It was pretty incredible to watch them overall. I mean, obviously, we both had our initial picks, and if y'all want to see the other videos, go check them out over here on YouTube. Clearly, I was wrong. Clearly, I was wrong. But that's okay. I think what was so cool though was that we did get to see the dominance and especially that offensive line. I mean, if you watch, I can't remember the play what exactly it was the second quarter, but the Ohio State running back who literally ran into a Notre Dame offensive lineman and pushed the lineman back further to not only get past and get the first down, but it was just nutty. I mean, they are such a powerhouse team, and it really does show how powerful their recruiting was from day one of this entire season, but also just how much they've come together as a cohesive team unit.
Yeah, they very much impressed me this season overall. I know we faltered against Oregon and then Michigan late in the year. We'll work out Michigan next year, Ohio State. It'll be fine. You're the national champion. That's all that matters this year. But I thought they were dominant up front. I thought they were dominant vertically. I mean, the way Will Howard and his wide receivers can stretch the field is sensational. They're really a complete team. I know we were talking about Texas being the most complete team in college football this year. I think Ohio State just showed us that they are. So I loved seeing how they played in this game. It was strong from moment one until the clock ran out. So congratulations, Ohio State. You did phenomenally. Notre Dame, you did awesome as well. I mean, this was a fantastic season for Notre Dame, especially in the CFP era where Notre Dame really hasn't been a strong contender. Marcus Freeman, what he has done with this Notre Dame has been sensational. Ever since that NIU loss, they have had a playoff game from there, because if they lost one more, they're not in a conference. They can't go to the playoffs typically unless a lot of chaos happens. So I thought they have had a fantastic season. I think Marcus Freeman will win a national championship with Notre Dame in his tenure there. I had high hopes for them in this game. I mean, that first drive, taking almost 10 minutes off the clock, 18 plays, scoring with a Riley Leonard touchdown. I was like, this is what you have to do. The run game was there. They took all the time off the clock from this explosive offense of Ohio State. I thought this is going to be such a competitive game. And then it went away because Ohio State's defense figured it out. So I thought the first drive was sensational. I thought the comeback was sensational. It just wasn't enough against this dominant Ohio State team.
Let's really talk about kind of the change of game, though, too. I mean, obviously, Notre Dame scored first, and that was a great indicator of how we thought things were going to go. But like we talked about in the pregame, was that if they could figure out how to stop Riley Leonard's legs, they were going to be in a much more favorable position to win. And they did. But really, that second quarter where Ohio State and Quinshawn Judkins scored a 9-yard run behind the Buckeyes ahead at 14-7, that was the major turning point. And we watched as they continued to press onward. I mean, with that second, 70-yard run, getting another 1-yard touchdown plunge, increasing the lead to 28-7 in the third quarter, Ohio State was definitely leading the track on that standpoint. How did we feel about that Notre Dame fake punt?
Bad call. There were a couple questionable coaching decisions. I love Marcus Freeman's coaching style. I love his scheme, what he did against Georgia when he was doing the fake punt again. I thought that was brilliant. It just didn't work here. Also, when they were in the fourth quarter, that field goal attempt, when they were down 16 points, I was like, I get it. You're on fourth down. Don't take the points. This is when we be aggressive. Go for it. If you miss it, you miss it. But this is the opportunity right here to put 7 points, 8 points potentially up on the board. And I was like, these are the decisions that as a head coach, Marcus Freeman, he'll learn from these choices and then maybe next time make something different, or maybe make the same choices. He'll have different players. You don't know. This thing either works or it doesn't. But there were a couple coaching decisions I didn't love from him, especially late in the game.
We did also see one SEC shout out that I think we do have to mention over here. Jaden Fielding getting that 46-yard field goal. Former Ole Miss player, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for again showcasing, giving us a little bit of SEC shout out in the game this past time. But
Yep.
him getting them over to that 31-7 that scoring was pretty remarkable. But we did also see the Irish trying to come back though with this sense of unity, but also getting their consistency together to try to get some points on the board. I mean, the 34-yard touchdown pass from Leonard to Jaden Greathouse, we're definitely seeing them kind of become this little pair over here for the Irish. And that started to, I think, help give them momentum back. It just was unfortunately too late in the game for the Irish to really be able to catch up to the lead that Ohio State went ahead and put on them.
Yeah, the problem with Notre Dame here is that they aren't as explosive as Ohio State. If they did have a big explosive offense, I would have felt more comfortable with saying, yes, I think they will bring it back. I think they can stop Ohio State from here and really make this super, super competitive. And they almost did, but I just don't think Riley Leonard, when you make him a true pocket passer, which is what they did for a good portion of this game, it's like he's not going to win with his arm. He needs his legs to pull it out. And they really contained him and they shut his legs down. And I think when you do that with a team like Notre Dame and team schemes like Notre Dame, it's really, really hard to win. But the thing is they're big and they're physical. So most of the time it works for them. It just didn't work against Ohio State. But Ohio State, their offense is explosive. Their defense is powerful. And it was going to be a hard game either way. The fact that Notre Dame was able to come back and make this really competitive at the end. I mean, even Ryan Day on the sidelines was a little baffled, but it made it competitive. It made it fun. So I really enjoyed this national championship game, and congratulations to Ohio State for winning the first ever 12-team playoff national championship. Will Howard is sensational. He will be great in the pros. He was so poised. He connected when he needed to. He won a lot with his legs as well. I think he is a great quarterback and was a big key here. Obviously, they have their star offensive players, Judkins, Henderson, and Mbuka, Jackson, like wonderful here. So this was going to be a hard team to beat. They have just been so dominant in the playoffs. So I think this was my pick. So I kind of expected this.
And it's like, I knew it. It was happening. Like, come on, jump on the train. Like, let's go. But let's talk about Will Howard for a second real fast. I mean, this man completed 17 out of 21 passes for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game. That is a killer way to end your season. Pretty remarkable. And this Ohio State team, this was definitely a very well-deserved victory. So for it being the final part of our season, I cannot believe things have ended the way they have, but truly the best team did come out on top. And for that, we honor you, Ohio State. We respect you. We thank you so much for giving us a really great example of what it means to be a dominant team in college football, but also I think giving us a really good example of what a well-rounded season looks like. It wasn't trickled with 100% wins. There were some losses in there, but I think once again, it shows though, especially with this whole new NIL thing that has become a part of this past year, is that things are changing, and to expect perfection from these different teams is just not real anymore because of the fact you have so many talented individuals that are getting an opportunity to play. So we will have to see what happens in the 2025-2026 season, Emma.
And we will be here for all of it, between coaching changes, coordinator changes, when the transfer portal opens back up again, spring practice, any crazy story that comes out. We are here to cover it at Ceci Stuff. And then, you know what? College football will be back before you know it. August ain't that far away. So until then, I'm Emma here with Bailey. Congratulations, Ohio State. You guys were fantastic. You won the national championship. Woot, woot. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.